I'm going to demonstrate to you just how fast the 48 laws of power work when it comes to American politics. Yeah, I got another book. I wore out the other one. This is awesome. I love it. Yesterday, Donald Trump put out a message when it came to his agenda in the first 100 days of his administration when he takes office on January 20th. In that truth that he posted, he said the following: members of Congress are getting to work on one powerful bill that will bring our country back and make it greater than ever before. We must secure the border, unleash American energy, and renew the Trump tax cuts, which were the largest in history, but we will make it even better. No tax on tips. It will be made up with tariffs and much more from countries that have taken advantage of us for years. Republicans must unite and quickly deliver these historic victories for the American people. Get smart, tough, and send the bill to my desk as soon as possible. Make America great again. And this is where the 48 laws of power come in, because law number 45 says, preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. If you are new to a position of power or an outsider trying to build a power base, make a show of respecting the old ways of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like a gentle improvement on the past. So Donald Trump want to do this big, massive bill, right? And Speaker Mike Johnson was on Maria Bartiromo's show on Sunday, and he was saying, hey, we can get it done.
How do you plan to execute President Trump's agenda?
Beginning immediately. Everyone was enclosed together for 8 or 9 hours straight talking about our reconciliation agenda and the America First agenda. And we want to make sure that we're jump-starting the agenda now over the next 2 weeks so that he's prepared and ready on day one.
But it wasn't just what Trump said in that little truth that he posted. It was a lot more stuff, and Mike Johnson is going to fill it in for us right now.
What are they? Well, obviously, we have to secure the border. We've got to make sure that our Border Patrol agents and our immigration enforcement agencies have the right directives from the White House, but also the right resources to do their job and secure that border once and for all. We've got to take care of the dangerous illegal criminals who have come over, and all that's part of it as well. And we've got to shift immediately to the economy. We're going to incentivize American companies to manufacture in the U.S. again. And we're going to make sure that the regulatory burden and the red tape that has smothered our free market is reduced and eliminated. And we're going to be dismantling the deep state all along the way. We're going to restore American energy dominance. So many different pieces to this, Maria. They all have to work together. And, of course, the president has asked us and really needs us to address the debt limit crisis before that hits in June. So a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things to negotiate, a lot of opinions on all that.
That's a violation of law number 45. That's just too much stuff to do in one big bill. But Maria asked him about what Senator Lindsey Graham is working on, which is like a two-step solution instead of putting it all in one big, massive omnibus spending bill.
Have you spoken with President Trump about what he prefers? Does he want one large reconciliation package to include border security, deportations, as well as tax extensions? Or does he want two, as Senator Lindsey Graham has been working on?
He and I have talked about this quite a bit, as you might imagine, over the last few months, determining the pros and cons of the two different strategies. I respect Lindsey Graham and all my friends who kind of preferred a two-step strategy. The idea would be get something done on the border and maybe defense spending right out of the blocks very quickly in what we would call a skinny reconciliation bill, and then do the rest of it in a larger chunk later. But I think at the end of the day, President Trump is going to prefer, as he likes to say, one big, beautiful bill. And there's a lot of merit to that because we can put it all together, one big up or down vote, which can save the country, quite literally.
Now, he keeps saying the word reconciliation. But what does that really mean?
Reconciliation. It's the process that allows Congress to pass legislation through a simple majority and avoid the risk of the filibuster. But it's only intended for a certain type of legislation, budgetary, which covers spending, taxes, and reducing the national debt.
And a lot of stuff that they're doing is dealing with money. So what they plan on doing is the House and the Senate get together, they write a bill. Once they write the bill, they send it to the House and they vote up or down, yea or nay, majority rule with no filibusters. You get about 20 hours to talk about it, but there's no filibusters. Then once they finish the House, it goes into the Senate. They do the same thing, gets to President Trump, he signs it. It's all to avoid the filibuster so people don't run out the clock. But in doing so, they want to also sneak some other stuff inside the bill that'll coincide with budget to try to get a massive bill passed, to include tax cuts.
Part of that is preventing the largest tax increase in U.S. history, which would happen automatically at the end of next year.
The Trump tax cuts expire at the end of December of this year. They want to get that extended for another 5-10 years. That was a tax cut for the rich. That added $2 trillion to our debt, and Trump ended up exploding the debt to $8 trillion. And to get those tax cuts, you got to raise the debt ceiling. You got to raise the debt limit. He's going to put that in the bill also.
Are you expecting to raise or eliminate the debt ceiling as part of that big bill?
I think we're going to have to do it in that bill. And the reason for that, Maria, is that we won't have to negotiate with Chuck Schumer and the Democrats on that. If you do it in reconciliation, you can do it just with the Republican Party. So
now they want to raise the debt ceiling so they can spend more. And Trump wants to get rid of the debt ceiling. But remember, they're the party of cutting spending.
we'll have very thoughtful discussion and debate about where that limit should go. But here's the important thing everybody needs to remember. We're the team that wants to cut spending, and we will. And
there is no way you can make that make sense ever. So Donald Trump wants to cram 4 years into one bill in the first year, in the first 100 days. Not going to happen, because you're dealing with 535 people, 435 in the House and 100 in the Senate. And especially in the House, you got a lot of small districts that those congressmen and women have certain constituencies that need certain things. So to try to put everything into one reconciliation bill to avoid the filibuster process is not going to really happen. And how do I know? Because somebody got to Donald Trump, and I believe it was the new Senate Majority Leader who's a Republican. Here's the reporting on the Hugh Hewitt Show, which is a conservative radio host, and this is what Trump said about his agenda. Trump backtracks from one big beautiful bill to fund his agenda. Trump advocated for one big beautiful bill during an appearance on the Hugh Hewitt Show on Monday morning, but later said he could be willing to break the legislative package into two. I would prefer one, but I would do whatever needs to be done to get it passed, Trump told Hewitt. Trump's openness to change reflects the reality that a one bill proposal is a break from the two package deal Senate Majority Leader John Thune and other Republicans have laid out. Remember, Mike Johnson was talking about Lindsey Graham doing or leading the effort to do two bills instead of one. We have a lot of respect for Senator Thune. As you know, he may have a little bit of a different view of it, Trump told Hewitt. I heard other senators yesterday, including Lindsey Graham, talking about it. They prefer it the other way. So I'm open. I'm open to either way as long as we get something passed as quickly as possible. Thune brushed off questions about differing strategies while heading to the Senate chamber on Monday. We are working through all of that. The process issues to me are a lot less important than the result, he said. So Trump is trying to violate law number 45, which he's trying to do too much at one time. Mike Johnson is afraid of his constituencies and he's afraid of MAGA, so he's all for it. But Senator Thune and Senator Lindsey Graham and some of the other senators are saying, slow your roll, pump your brakes. We can still get your agenda passed. We just can't do it as fast as you want because the Democrats got games of their own to play, and we don't want to set that precedent. That's why Trump is backtracking. The Republicans are still fighting themselves, violating all kind of laws. What do you think?